So I think that a good philosophy is to be a person and treat people with respect and lead them and not just be like a dictator. like like treat people with respect and they will treat you with respect. Make sure they have a goal. Make sure every single person on the team understands the goal of the company.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Exact Digital Podcast, where we have real conversations with creative agency owners and marketers who are building brands with brain, hearts, and a little bit of grit. Today, I'm joined by Alex Ricciardelli, founder of Rcompmedia, a full-service creative agency that's anything but cookie cutter. From hand-coding websites in his garage to building custom CRM workflows, Alex has carved his own lane in the agency space with a focus on intentional design, automation, and systems that actually scale. In this episode, we'll dive into his journey from garage startup to running a full-blown creative agency, why being client-led doesn't mean being a yes man, the pros and cons of automations, CRMs, and growing a team that actually works, and why staying creatively fulfilled outside of client work might be the secret to longevity. Alex, welcome to the show.
Welcome to me. Hello, everyone.
Well, first of all, could you do me a favor and show the class your shirt?
All right. Yes, everybody. Yeah, this is it. This is
This is called creative marketing.
yeah, it's called actually restricted beauty. Or yeah, something of the sort actually. Well, actually that's a different one, but I actually don't even have a name for this one. It's from a collection called the Revolutionary Era, and I designed it from my brand Designverse. So I got a couple collections, and yeah, it just helps me stay creative and enjoy what I do because I just create for people all day long. So I got to do something for myself to find the love of design again. Sometimes you're rediscovering it all over again. It's almost like a new relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're busy creating for other people all the time, sometimes if it was your hobby, it gets to be a little drawn out when it becomes your work. So staying creative in your own space is really important.
Have to. You just have to, or it just becomes like a job. And yeah, and that's not why we're here. We're here to reinvent the wheels and create things for people.
Absolutely. And you didn't take the traditional agency route. Tell us the story behind our comp media and how did you get your first big break?
First big break, huh? Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the first big break. I would say that working with organizations has been like super cool later down the line, but that didn't happen for at least like a year or two. But yeah, starting in my garage, bringing it back. Yeah, so basically, it was around the beginning of COVID, and I got laid off from my corporate job. And what happened was I was building a computer company, fixing people's computers, and I was just flipping them, buying them, flipping them, fixing people's computers and all that. And I realized that once Walmart opened back up, I was gonna be screwed because now I'm competing with slightly bigger company than mine. So yeah, reaching out to like a lot of different agencies, looking for, see if they needed help like creating, and I had just only built maybe two websites at the time. I mean, I was creating since I was young, but I mean back in when I was like 8. But from now, this age where I was like 20, I think I was like 24. Yeah, I was like 24 or 25 at the time. And I was just cold emailing people. Like, I mean, I'm talking like 20 people a day looking for some people to collaborate with. I was doing landscaping at the time. And yeah, so from that to emailing people, finally, after several, I got a response, and it was Wix. And I jumped on a Zoom with them and showed them my company, and they were like, "Yeah, this is nice and all, but it's not really in the direction of what we're looking for for partnership." So they politely declined. And I was like, well, since we're here, I mean, how could I, improve? What could I do? And they're like, well, if you want to apply again, you can, but you'd have to restructure your business as a design and marketing agency, media design. They gave me a bunch of keywords, and I did not understand what they were talking about. So number one, I had to Google it. I didn't want to act like I didn't know what they were talking about because I didn't want to look like an idiot. But yeah, so I ended up just looking it up, doing my research, and from that point on, it was my goal to pretty much throw Rcomp solutions in the trash, or RPC solutions, whatever it was. I had a million different names. I don't even think I solidified a name. Um, and yeah, so I basically did that, and I spent about 30 days because that was my deadline to restructure the business. And when I did reapply, I mean, I did the logo, I did all the messaging, and I had redid it. So I had it ready, and then they had approved. They said, "Yeah, you're good. This is looking nice." And then I was allowed to join, but not did I did not just start getting leads. It didn't work like that. I had to actually get 5 projects with premium plans before I could get into the actual marketplace. So I was a Wix partner, but there were several different levels. So what I started doing was I just started doing free websites for people and say, hey, all you got to do is pay for a premium plan, and I'll build it. So I just did that, and then I was really running out of funds at this time. I think I was down to my last like 2,500, and I was just paying, pretty much like all my bills and everything. And I was like, really, like, I got to do something. So the last amount, I actually ended up building another brand for myself. And I just used like another like 500 to launch the premium, which gave me my 5th website into the marketplace. And then from then I just started getting, projects, and I was just violently calling people like every single day, like all the leads, every single one, multiple times. And then I remember making my first 1,000, and I thought it was the craziest thing of all time. I was like, dude, I cannot believe I'm getting paid just to build websites. It was like unreal. But yeah, enjoying what I did. And just from then, I knew that, the money to me didn't matter. It was more or less of my time. That's what mattered. And I knew from that point on, I needed to start scaling actually. Like that was my goal. Within the first year, I was already writing systems and processes to bring on, people. And I had no idea what I was doing. I probably blew a crazy amount of money trying to do this by myself without any training. But from my background, I mean, if you know me, you know that I've really only had jobs at like Goodwill and Dunkin' Donuts, and
Right.
I never really had jobs before my first corporate job, which honestly really led to what I do now. Is because I spent 4 years going to school like everyone else, and when I first got the job, I was only there for 6 months and they laid me off. And I was like, yo, I just spent 4 years of my life. And I was killing it. I know I was doing a lot better than a lot of people. I was more hungry. I mean, I was doing things way outside of my scope. And for these people just to let me go, I was like, why not do it for myself? So
Perfect. And there we are. So were any of these early challenges, any of them shaped the way that you work with clients today?
yes, because it helps me remember. Like if I ever have like a day, which is pretty often weekly, where I'm like, this sucks. I mean, just because I work for myself doesn't mean I don't have rough days, which I think people forget. I just say to myself, I could still be working at Dunkin', and just remember, getting fired for dropping iced coffees on the floor, and just being disrespected as a frontline worker at a coffee shop. I mean, I don't think anything is as bad as that. So it helps me deal with what I deal with now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely working in the service industry will make you appreciate where you are now because people are very rude for no reason.
Straight up.
Very disrespectful. So you're big on web design and systems. How do you bridge the creativity and operational sides for your clients?
Is it for my clients or is it for myself? Because, I think when it comes to operations and design, they're two completely different things. I remember I was talking to someone explaining what I do, and they're like, "How are you able to be as creative as you are and like scale and still do operations, create CRM systems and all this?" And it's like it's either one or the other, right? Um, well, it's honestly like a day on and day off. So one day I'm like really creative, and then the other day I'm like, just full delved into like systems. And maybe it's for weeks or months. I mean, I go through different phases where I won't be creative at all, and I'll be sitting there trying to force it, and I'm like, nope. And then I'll just take a break, and then I'll just work on really whatever my mind wants to work on. So I kind of allow my mind to kind of do what it wants to make it enjoyable.
Yeah, you can't really force creativity when it's not there. So sometimes just like getting up, doing something else, trying to get your mind right, and
Yeah.
then it'll start flowing potentially, or wait till the next day. Whatever is right, it needs some time to breathe.
Yeah, and if we're talking about for clients, and I'll bring it back to that, I actually don't get involved with a lot of the operations for like for what happens with my clients. It's mainly like I just do now at this point. I just do what I want. So if I want to design a website and I feel inspired to do it, I will, because I do have a team of website designers that I vetted throughout the years. I mean, I've had between 50 to 100 different designers working with the team, and it's taking me about like 5 years to find the right ones.
Yeah, it's all about growth and trying things and testing things. You know, when in the marketing world, it's all about testing, but even within your agency, with your partners and making sure that the fit is right and people are what they say they are.
It's true. And for people also listening, and they're like, "Oh, well, you don't design all your websites." I'm gonna be honest. I've designed a website for a client, and they didn't like it. And this happens where my style isn't for everybody because I have a certain style of like dynamic behavior. And what I do is I actually pass it off to a designer in house, and he can do better than me. I'm gonna be honest, like sometimes I'm not right for that client because I create something that's so dynamic and diverse, it's not appropriate for the client. So the project actually gets handed off to someone who understands, I guess, their business a little better, or maybe it needs to be like like a certain style that the client wants, and I just can't achieve that because it's too basic, or they want something too simple for me. So that happens a lot.
Fair enough. I mean, the smartest person in the room is the one that's willing to realize, okay, well, this is not for me, or I don't know this thing, or theirs is maybe better, and being able to think about the client's results are the most important and have your
Yeah.
ego step aside a little bit.
You have to. You have to. And I've learned that me having the team, I it used to really get to me. You was talking about ego. I mean, it used to really bother me to the point where I wouldn't be able to sleep because they were like almost not hating on the design, because you can't say they're hating on it. They just don't like it, or what they. It's what they think is the best, right? Um, and from what they think and what I know are two different things, because you have to like you have to listen to the client. I mean, even if it's not like gonna work, what are you gonna just over try to overwrite them and fight them? No, you're just gonna listen. But the thing is, it's like you hired a professional. Like, do you want like a professional's opinion, or do you just want to go by what you think is correct? So that those are two different avenues that I've learned to navigate and just allow the client to be right.
Right. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it's all about perception and what others find to be correct. So everyone has their own system. So it's really important to vet that out, have those tough conversations, and be honest. If you aren't the right fit, or if you have someone else that is better for this certain situation, then just do it, you know? So you mentioned that clients often try to steer the ship. How do you balance your collaboration without becoming an order taker?
Well, I mean, that's why I have the team. Like having a project manager that just pretty much handles it because 90% of the time it's whatever the client wants. There aren't people, no matter how bad they say that they want you to make the decision, at the end of the day, it's not true. They're still going to tell you what to do when it's time for the final decision for the website. You give them a layout and they're like, no, and it's like, well, do you want a conversion ready website or do you want a website that you think is going to work? So my project managers, they understand this and they just navigate. They pretty much just do whatever the client wants. And if they want like some like real advice, then I'll jump on a call and I'll help. But usually only with bigger companies that happens.
Fair enough. So, have you ever had to fire a client that weren't the right fit? And what did you learn from those experiences?
Let's see, fire a client would more or less be that they disappear. What happens nowadays is different than what used to happen 2 years ago. But if we're talking from this point backwards, we're talking, they're just disappearing. Like I've had two clients that, let's say they'll get a website designed by Chat GPT. This is a good one. I got a good one here. So they'll go get a website designed by Chat GPT. They'll give it to us and say design this. They got like 12 different colors, 6 different fonts, and I'm like, I mean, I could probably do better than this. So we'll do something better. And then he'll be like, no, but Chat GPT said this. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Chat GPT knew how to build a website. I mean, you're hiring us. I mean, it just, so like that was like constant back and forth to the point where I spent our last meeting 2 hours. Our 2 hours was pixel fighting. So sitting there designing exactly what he wants. And I did it. And I knew that it was just a waste of time. And, when I asked for the next deposit, disappeared. So, that happens. I think the last time I had an issue was this organization, which I don't have issues with organizations usually. They're like the best to work with. It's my favorite because they usually have a marketing team. They're a little bit more put together and understanding about things, a little bit more professional. Excuse me. Yeah. So what happened with them? That was a unique experience because I was dealing with their team, and the owner of the website didn't fully understand the scope. So there was an issue there with the scope, and I had it presented to her, and I guess she didn't want to pay the final balance. So that was a weird situation where it was like, well, we held on to the website, and then she just never paid it, and we just were like, well, we have to, we're just gonna, I guess, discontinue our relationship.
Things happen. Things happen. So
Yeah.
you've built some serious automation across Wix, ClickUp, Zapier, and more. What's been the most game-changing setup for your workflow?
Oh, yeah, ClickUp for sure.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Well, also having the team understand the ClickUp advancements. So understanding our system and then having someone dedicated to working on our system and working on the improvements of things that need advancements. So I had actually just given my project manager, who's been with me, Kate. She was like one of my first, or I would say like my second real hires for the team. She's been around for about a year and a quarter now, and she has been through pretty much like every situation. And I feel like for a design agency, you just need to be kind of involved in everything. Like when you bring on your first person, because number one, they're going to understand every single situation a little better, so then they could help, let the team know, help educate them, and now think, because if you're trying to scale, now you have someone that would be an operation coordinator, manager, and she can coordinate and operate the team because she's seen it all. So someone that can go hand in hand with a system that you created, so then she can help lead the systems, the teams, and make sure everything runs smoothly. So I think not only having a system that you've built that is slightly automated, but getting her to understand, how you want things to run, and that's automated. So everyone can save more time on the team, and enjoy more of their life. I mean, that's the whole point of it.
Right. I mean, you can purchase any type of automation thing, but it's making it actually work for your team, especially, and having someone understand it like the back of their hand so that it can actually do what it's supposed to do, which is automation and speed things up rather than slowing it down.
Yeah, and you got to think from an operations standpoint, is like what's your business and what's your goals with it, right? And that will allow you to then research what platform is going to be the best. And then yeah, you're pretty much given a blank canvas. I mean, sure, you could go buy a system from someone that's pre-built and maybe it'll work, but I prefer the long and treacherous route, which is finding what works best for you and then creating systems and processes so then the team can then understand it. So basically, I had brought on my first ClickUp manager, who was the first person who really like had made an impact. Her name is Jane, and she's a ClickUp expert, and she had built this system from the ground up and making it so then it can then be it could be ran by the team. So most things are automated. Everyone knows when a new client comes in what needs to be done. Send that, click a button, it sends an onboarding email with a Google Drive and an onboarding form, and the person then gets assigned, and then they have to follow up with them and make sure it gets done, or they call them or set up a kickoff call. So those are the kind of things that I don't like to do. It's very tedious. I just like to get the website done, and make sure that our operations and everything is running smoothly. And I think that helps buy back time so you can enjoy like more of your life, because my goal is time. I'm not chasing money, but my goal is time.
Absolutely. I mean, we only have but so much.
Yeah.
So you've talked about moving away from overseas VAs. What's your philosophy now when it comes to building a team?
Yeah, so I think that understanding more or less of what like their lifestyle is when you find someone that you think would be a good fit, you really need to work closely with them, because what I used to do is I would just bring someone on and be like, all right, there you go. And it doesn't work like that. Everyone thinks you bring someone on and your life gets easier. Well, that's not true. Your life actually gets worse and way more chaotic for like the first like 3 to 6 months. And there's been times where I almost quit. like pretty much every single week. And I needed to build patience and I needed to learn how to do it because I never had training and I never was a manager ever anywhere. And I didn't even have the skills. So I had to actually learn all the skills of how to do it. So I think that a good philosophy is to be a person and treat people with respect and lead them and not just be like a like a dictator like treat people with respect and they will treat you with respect. Make sure they have a goal. Make sure every single person on the team understands the goal of the company. Make sure that they understand that you have a goal for them and you care about them. Do small things for them and treat people nice. Because I remember when I worked at a company, I'm treating people better than I was being treated in the US, and like I had people from different countries that are getting paid more than me like a couple years ago. When I was working at this company, I remember I worked there for about 2 years, and they gave me a raise of 7 cents. And I'm giving people dollar raises like every 3 to 6 months, and maybe like if not, I'm giving them like an incentive of like $50 if they do a good job or something. Like it's just people are gonna leave, and then all the time that you spent on this, and it's just gonna be all for nothing. And at the end of the day, I'm a person too. So I think that just treating everyone with respect is just the best way to do it, and you just win that way.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a huge difference between a boss and a leader. And when someone, it's like parenting in a way. Like when you're really strict on your kids, you never let them do anything, what they're going to do is they're just going to rebel.
Yeah,
But if you treat them with respect and dignity and have open and honest conversations, but still give boundaries and expectations, that's when someone's going to thrive because they want to impress you.
yeah, exactly. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them how their day was. Take it slow some days. I mean, I've been learning to just be present. Like, I mean, as stupid as it sounds, but like some days, and I've been like that, just running absolutely rampant, like a maniac, trying to like hit KPIs and hit new highs, and you get high from it. But sometimes you need to bring yourself back down and just like be humble and just enjoy the day.
Absolutely. So, what are you most excited about right now at Rcomp, and what kind of clients or partnerships are the best fit for you going forward?
I'm really excited that everybody is excited about like working with our comp media, our team, clients, some of the new clients that I had just acquired from our lead generation, because what we've been doing is a lot of lead generation. So I've been doing that and meeting some organizations that have truly amazing causes. For example, like Believe Inc. Shout out Believe Inc. They're they're super awesome, and her goal is to reach $1 billion in donations and to create a movie, get it on streaming platforms, and give away all the profit. I mean, I don't know. That's just a crazy goal. Like, I never met someone so like kind to just literally spend, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, because that's what it's going to cost to do that, and then just give away the profits. Like, I can't even understand that. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I would
excited.
consider myself a nice person, but wow, that is crazy. Oh my God.
No, it's impressive. So pretty excited about that. Pretty excited to work with them. Just onboarded them last week. Kate, shout out Kate too. She's, like I was just talking, she's been around since the beginning, like really making an impact, learning a lot on how we can improve our processes, We're training her to lead our teams, all our teams, so we can grow each individual team, which would be a lot quicker than me individually training them. So training one person, creating specific tasks to then help grow and build our teams. So pretty excited about that. I just see a lot of growth in 2025, and pretty hyped for it.
Amazing. So our agency does a lot of paid advertising. Have you ever dipped your toe into that pond?
Absolutely, I'm in the pond.
What is the tactics and strategies or platforms that you typically go for?
So basically, creating a strategy and understanding what type of business we're working with, and making recommendations based on the price structure that our clients have. So let's say like we're working with, I don't know, like a coffee shop. I'm just going to make an example. I'm drinking coffee. I just was at one, so I'm just thinking about a coffee shop. Running ads for a coffee shop would be quite difficult in the sense of they don't have a lot of budget. They usually don't, unless they're a bigger coffee shop. Number two, their pricing is only $5. So to get, for them to spend $1,000 a month, and how many coffees do we have to sell? That we have to show an increase in ROAS. I don't even know how to say it. I know how to spell it, but I don't know how to say it.
ROAS?
Yeah, ROAS. Yeah. So like, how do we show like that we're really making a profit? It's like, okay, here are the KPIs are hitting, and then we have to show like we're increasing it by a certain amount. But $5 is what people are spending on these dang coffees. Not a good fit. So really, what I think matters is what the people are selling, and if it's just a good fit. Like for example, let's say the shoe company, Comfort Footwear, that we're about to start working with, they have a higher ratio of cost. So basically, what they sell is higher profit margin or whatever. So if we sell like five or six, like 150, that is gonna be easier to do than trying to sell 100 coffees. So I think it really depends on the type of business that you are marketing and what their budget is as well. Because if they don't have a high marketing budget, then they're just not a good fit.
Yeah, no, totally. Because it takes some persistence and consistency, and it's not cheap by any means to just throw something out there. Strategy is super important, budget's really important, but making sure you also have that foundation of good SEO, a good website, and then moving forward once you scale up and have that budget. Do you typically do things in-house or do you outsource for paid advertising?
I do the paid advertising myself. I feel that once we get a little bigger, then maybe we could bring someone on that would do it. But at the time, it wouldn't even really fit in the budget because the clients' budgets aren't really quite that high. Um, and what other people charge is quite a lot more than what we charge, so it'd be a lot harder to do that.
Alex, this has been such a great conversation. Your journey from garage to growing a creative agency reminds us that there's no one right path. You can even start at Duncan if you want. So if you want to learn more about what Alex is building, check out rcompmedia.com or follow along on his journey on LinkedIn as he brings even more creative ideas to life through design, systems, and storytelling. Alex, thanks again for joining me.
Thanks, Kenzie. Appreciate your time. It's
Of
great.
course. And thank you all for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe.